sweet brother. He's my big brother, right? Ronald, he was 31 years old when he actually was killed. He was young, and he was 6 years older than I am. He was the fifth child of 7 of us. My mother had 7 children. He was the fifth, and I came after him. He was a loving brother, mild-mannered. He laughed all the time. He was happy-go-lucky. Everyone loved him, and he was just a really good person. I remember him riding me on the handlebars of his bike when we would go through Prospect Park, because we lived in Brooklyn. I'm from Brooklyn, New York. And my beginnings was from Bedford-Stuyvesant. That's where we started growing up. And then I moved over closer to Prospect Park. And he would come over and he would take me out on his bike and put me on the handlebars, and we'd be flying up and down the streets. And I always trusted him because he was my big brother. And I just believed that he would never let anything hurt me. And he had hazel eyes. He had beautiful hazel eyes. Just 2 in the family that had those hazel eyes, he and my older sister Dolores. And his eyes was the light hazel, where they would turn green and yellowish and all of those different colors. So I find it very interesting that the artist has a little green going through around his eyes. He was married. He got married early in life, and he had 7 children. He had 2 by blood and 5 by marriage. On December 19th of 1981, I had just seen him maybe a few weeks before that, and he was really telling me how proud he was of me, because I was a young woman, but that was my second apartment, and it was more than just a little tiny studio. It had, you know, it was a beautiful apartment, and he was telling me, he says, my little sister's growing up. And I remember that was our last conversation that we had, but I thought we would have many more. On December 19th, 1981, a week before Christmas, of all times, I had just finished decorating my Christmas tree and my house, getting myself ready for Christmas and going out to buy presents. There was a knock on my door. And someone knocked at my door. My niece's boyfriend stopped by to tell me that my brother had been killed. I'm racing through my head, what brother? I have 4 brothers. What brother was killed? And I said, what brother? Ronald. I couldn't believe it, Ronald. You know, he was just so nice and loving to me. You know, he just was always so kind. He had a soft spirit about him. And I found out that 3 young men had chased him through the streets of Bedford-Stuyvesant the night before. He had come home from work, and he had stopped at a fast food place to get him something to eat. And coming out of the fast food place, they tried to rob him. And he started to run away. And they shot him, and they shot at him, and they chased him, and they shot him in both of his arms. And he ran down into the train station, and he was trying to get help from the token booth clerk. The reason I know this is because it was in the write-up in the paper, and the token booth clerk had told the story. And he was trying, but the token booth clerk did not know whether this was a setup or what it was. He couldn't let him in. So my brother ran to the telephone booth that was down there, and he called the cops, and that was in the write-up also from the police. And he was telling them, help, I need your help. I need you to come help me. These guys are trying to kill me. And so he came out when he realized that it was nothing for him to do. They came down into the station, and he came out and he went to confront them. And he said, you know, trying to say, why are you shooting me? Why are you doing this? And the guy shot him in the chest. And they shot him in the chest, and he fell on the ground, on the cold ground, and bled to death. And as he was bleeding, they went through his pockets, and they took his money, and they took the rings off his fingers. And they left my brother, my poor, beautiful brother, there to die. And the reason I know that is because when I went to court, and they asked the guy, why did you shoot Mr. Sanders? He said, because he was bigger than me. He was bigger than me. And I started crying, and I was upset in the court, and they made me leave. I couldn't even stay. They made me leave the court. But my brother lay there dying, and I remembered it many times after. And like I said, this was a week before Christmas. So it just interrupted the whole Christmas. I remember thinking, I want to go to that train station where he died. Over there was the A train on Fulton Street, by the Fulton Street Park that I love so much, that we grew up around. My brother and me, we grew up in that area. See, this newer generation that had just come in, they didn't realize that my brother knew these streets, those mean streets over there. They thought they were on these mean streets and they were the meanest guys on there. But they were going to just shoot down someone that just came a generation before them, and they didn't have any feeling about it. I wanted to go see where my brother was laying. I wanted to go see, but I was afraid. I don't know, I just had a feeling that I would feel his spirit, and it just wouldn't go. I wanted to see the blood. I wanted to be close to my brother. I wanted to find him. Where is he? Where is my brother? And I wanted to touch him. I wanted him to be there with me. And I didn't go. I was really afraid. So the next time I got to see my brother was laying in the cold in a funeral home, laying when we went to view his body. And I remember trying to go into the funeral home. And I remember how horrible it felt. And I could see the casket at the front of the in the room. And I knew my beautiful brother was in there. And it was so hard, my legs couldn't move. And it was so hard, they had to take me and walk me up there to look at my brother, my beautiful brother, as someone had hurt. A loving, beautiful brother. And I looked at him, and he was young, and he was beautiful, and he looked like he was asleep. And I knew there was no life in him, and I couldn't believe it. His death caused such a hurt and devastation on not only me, but everyone in my family. It was so hard to believe that this had happened. I kept thinking, this can't be true. It can't possibly be true. And my brother's dead. That someone killed him like this. And it was very hard on me. It changed me. That moment changed my life. I was never going to be the same person again. Never going to be the same person again. It took a piece of me away. So when people do that to your loved ones, when gun violence not only destroys the person that they actually killed and destroyed, they destroyed families. They destroyed everybody in my family. They destroyed everyone maybe in their family. It doesn't just stop. They destroyed their lives because they had to go to jail. I don't know where these boys are today, but they had to go to jail. It doesn't, they don't think further than being right there at that time doing that deed that they do that has such a profound effect on people's lives. Yeah, when I walk around on the campus and I smile and I'm happy, no one would ever think that I've experienced this. No one would ever think that I have this type of deep cut within inside of me. It's been many years, but it still hurts. He's still my brother. His life got cut short, and I'll never be the same. I'll never be the same. I can put on a smile, and I can walk around, and I can share laughs with people, and I can enjoy a little life, more than I did when it first happened. Pain is personal, and it hurts me. But also, I understand that sometimes people do things before they grow up enough to realize the horrors of it. So I'm hoping that something good came out of this for those people that actually took him down. And in conclusion, I like to read a poem that I wrote my brother after his death, many years after his death, because I couldn't even talk about it, think about it, do anything about it until many years after. And I decided to write this. As a matter of fact, I wrote this when I was in my master's program. And I'm so happy that I have the opportunity to put it in this Soul Shots selection. So I'm going to try to see this. Brother, where art thou? That's the name of my poem, Brother, Where Art Thou? December 1981. The operation was swift, performed with precision and skill. It was as quick as the knock on the door. I answered it. No organs were left out of place. The job was done so well. I was told you were no more, gone, not to be found in the tiniest places, or even in foreign lands. My heart turned to lead and dragged me to my knees as my red-hot liquid turned into small beads of ice-cold clots that forced the rivers from my soul so deep, that it took many years to crest before I could rest, my tattered being broken, damaged, wrecked. I didn't know how to pick up the pieces of what was left. I wanted to come to the place where your final home was made. You laid there losing warmth until you glowed with an unfamiliar look. I never did though. I was afraid I'd find you, afraid of what you'd say. I just waited for you to come to me. And you did the very first night. And I was so happy and surprised. And you told me that it wasn't true, that they had not done that to you, that you had gone away, your absence a delay, until you were forgotten by those who would lay you down in a hole 6 feet underground. And I was happy to see you well, and I proclaimed my love for you. But as I rose with the sun, the truth was revealed. The operation had made a change so deep within my heart that when awake, I dreamt you dead, and when asleep, alive. Thank you. That same night, I actually had a dream that my brother came to me. And you know when people die, a lot of times you have those dreams. And he came to me, and I was ecstatic, and he was telling me, sis, I'm not dead, just I gotta hide from these guys. You know, I gotta go away for a while, and I'll be okay, I'll be back. And I was so elated in this dream. And then when I woke up, I realized I was just dreaming. And that's when I put this piece in the poem to show that, you know, it was just so real. I really thought it just felt so good. But I believe my brother came and visited me that night to give me comfort because I was so distraught. So I thank you all for coming and hearing his story. I thank you so much. Also, I'd like to thank the artist, Rebecca Thornburgh, who did this lovely picture of my brother. Now, she didn't know a lot of things about my brother. We did have a small conversation, but the picture that I gave her of my brother was him standing with a hat on, smoking a cigarette. and look what she puts in his hand. She captured his soul. She captured that beautiful, beautiful person inside. Look at his hands. Look at the bird. That's my brother. He's letting me know, sis, I'm okay. I'm okay, sis. And so I want to thank the Soul Shots for that. And unfortunately, I'm going to be in the next Soul Shots because my sister's daughter was murdered the same way, and she was killed, shot in the head in the streets of Brooklyn, New York City. So I want to do that to honor her also, and to give my sister maybe some closure also, the way Soul Shots has given me some closure. And I'm so proud that my brother can advocate for himself now. His portrait is going around and doing the things that I can't do. And Soul Shots has made that possible. And I thank you, and I thank you for coming out to hear.